TNTM the show presents Comicast 341 with your host Pablo Gunner, and I am here to talk nerdy to you about this week's comics, which is June 6th comics. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Right now, E3 is going on. It's been going on. That'll be a separate podcast. Hopefully I can get together with some peeps and we can discuss that stuff because I'm pretty jacked off about it. I know I don't talk that much about video games because I don't get to play that much video games, but I love new games. And I love E3. It's the greatest. So someday, hopefully I can go, but I got to build my gamer rep up some if I'll ever have the time, which seems like never. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about comics. We have a grade scale. It's buy, skim, pass, variation strong by, weak by. Then there's other terms. There is the back and bag of the week. So I'll slide it into this nice dealio here because it's the best book. It's the best book of the week. And there's also the runner-up to that, so I'll announce that at the end, most likely, both of those. And I'll also say contender, like, hey, this is a contender for a runner-up or B-bow. So it's contender for one and or both of those. And yeah, so there's a lot of books this week, mostly Marvel. There's a lot of Marvel here. And yeah, so minute timer, it's just me, so 1 minute for my review, and that's it. So, and I need to make it quick because I only have about an hour to do this. So, yeah, good luck to me. But yeah, so yeah, let's go ahead and get this party started. I'm gonna start with spoilers. Spoiler alert. I gotta say that off the bat. I'm gonna spoil this just because I'm talking about these books and reviewing them. So yeah. All right, anyways, to the book. Batman Prelude to the Wedding Part 2, Nightwing vs. Hush. Or Nightwing vs. Hush part. I don't know. Anyways, it's a number 1, but it says Part 2. It's confusing. We have Tim Seeley as the writer, Travis Moore as the artist, Otto Schmidt as epilogue artist, and then Tamara Bonvillain as colors, and then Dave Sharp as letters. Okay. So this one's great. So what they do is they go, Batman's getting married to Selina Kyle, to Catwoman, but Bruce is not getting married to Selina Kyle. So they're keeping that on the hush. And so Nightwing, of course, is like, we're going to have a little bachelor party. So they go to the Batburger. And so, of course, there's other people dressed up there because of it. And so they can get away with just being Batman and Superman because, of course, Superman's there and Nightwing. And so then they're like, hey, we're just going to go do something friendly, like just go fishing or just go relax, this little pocket universe and stuff. Well, Hush shows up, ruins that, attacks them. Nightwing ends up getting into a fight with him. They fall into this one pocket universe where it's all these people that like consume you and stuff. And yeah, it's really weird and really crazy. And so they end up fighting things about each other. And Hush now wants to be Nightwing, or anyways, he wants to be Bruce's best man, best friend, whatever. So yeah, it's really cool. It looks amazing. It's fantastic. It's really interesting. This one does get wrapped up. This story does get wrapped up, so it's pretty much a one-shot. The next is the Riddler, Batgirl and the Riddler. Yeah, I liked it. It was enjoyable. It was fantastic. I mean, I love Dick. I love Nightwing, so it's always great when I get more Dick. And, slide right on it, and it feels good. So that's what I enjoy. Looks phenomenal. And Hush is a great character. You have to read that story. I forget. Yeah, it's just called Batman Hush, I think, the graphic novel. With Jim Lee, I believe. So yeah, I can definitely give it a strong buy. I don't know if it's contender material for Bebow, but it could be definitely runner up. Anyways, I'm gonna gut on. I should have started with this, which is Dazzler #1. Writer is Magdalene Visaggio. Artist Laura Braga. Color artist Rachel Rosenberg. Letter VC's Joe Sabino. So this one, it is essentially, it's just like talking about Dazzler, and she's like, yeah, I never wanted to be a hero, you know, but I got sucked into it because I have these powers and stuff. I just want to be a musician. Anyway, she's starting this new band, but she's like doing it, you know, under wraps and stuff. She doesn't want people to know it's her, but it's very like pro mutants, pro Inhumans, pro like, you know, the pretty much just everybody's, that's the I don't want to say cast outs necessarily, but you know, the disenfranchised, I will say. And so, but there's this mutant group that's anti-Inhuman, and she's like, no, I don't want any of this. And she finds the people right away, you know, and she's like, yeah, don't come around and stuff. They do anyways. They keep, and she tries to ignore it. It gets out of control. They start attacking Inhumans, so she gets involved. Piotr actually comes to recruit her, but you know, and then after this incident, you know, he's like, it seems like you need to get involved, you know, here's our number. And it's like an old, you know, it's like those old phones, the brick phones and stuff. But, and she's like, maybe, you know. So I don't know. It says Dazzler will return in Astonishing X-Men 14. So I'm assuming this is a one shot. It was kind of weird the way that it was set up, because it's like, I don't know if this is a new kicking off series or if this is just a one shot setting up for her being in Astonishing X-Men, which I kind of like them doing that, just because it's like, I like the idea that you can go, oh, I want to know more about the other characters from this other comic. I want to check out their one shots or whatever, but it doesn't say if it's a one shot or not. So I don't know if it's going to be. So I don't know what it's going for necessarily. And like, if I knew what it's going for, then it, you know, I can figure out more, not whether it hit its mark of what it's going for or not. But I enjoyed it. I like it. It looks really great. I do feel like it could have been a little bit better, but like I said, that's also based off of what they're going for. If it's just set up for that, I go, all right, this is good, you know? So I want to give it a strong buy, but I feel like it's just a strong buy. Not a contender, though. Not a contender. So anyways, this one has a digital code, so I'm going to give you the digital code for this. V for Victor, T for Thomas, 70, D for Donatello, F for Frank, G for Glory, M for Mankey, Z for Zarbon, 1, T for Thomas, D for Donatello. And next is Doctor Strange #1. This is written by Mark Waid, artist Jesus Saiz, letter VC's Corey Petit. And so this one is, well, it starts out with this guy, you know, where it's Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme. He fights this giant, like, it looks like a giant Swamp Thing monster. And it's going to take over, and it's sending, like, it's, you know, it's monsters and stuff, and he lights it on fire and defeats it and closes up the, you know, this gap, sews it up or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'm the Sorcerer Supreme, I'm awesome. Then it goes into how he's losing his powers, how he's losing, even like he can't even see magic, he can't read it, you know, he just can't see it at all, he can't feel it, nothing, he's completely lost touch with it, he can't help people anymore. He goes to Tony Stark, he's like, what should I do? He's like, well, you know, Earth isn't the only place with magic. Like, there's a giant, he's like, well, I can't go to other universes. He's like, who's talking about other dimensions? He's like, go to space. He's like, I made the spacecraft. You can use it. Go out there and find, you know, magic artifacts. Find somebody else to teach you and stuff. And so the I'll just say this, which is it kind of feels like a silent book all the way through because it's narrated kind of like a third. It's not from Doctor Strange's point of view, and there isn't any dialogue. Well, there's not much dialogue until he talks to Tony Stark, which is kind of towards the end, and then at the very end, there's a little bit too. He crash lands. Spoiler. But yeah. So, anyways, I like it. It looks phenomenal, but I just feel like I want more connection to Doctor Strange, and I'm not getting that because of the way that the narration is being done. I think when he talks, I go, okay, yeah, you know. Or if it was the narration was from his point of view, that would be better, maybe. I don't know. But it's good. It's really well done. Like, even just the way it's written, the story, the way it looks, everything. So this one I can give a strong buy to as well. But like I said, there's just minor tiff I had. Here's the digital code for this one. T for Tomas, M for Marcos, A for Alamos, 2, W for Huerita, 9, 6, 8, W for Quintana, Q for Quintana, R for Rigoberto, P for Pedro, and 8. Did I say my grade? Yeah. Anyways. Next is The Man of Steel _2. Brian Michael Bendis is the writer. Doc Shaner is pages 1 through 13. Steve Rude is 16 through 24. Jay Fabok, I thought it was Jason Fabok, 14 through 15. They're the artists, and then Alex Sinclair does colors. Josh Reed does letters. So, yeah, this one is there's this person talking to these Guardians about like, oh, hey, if you had anything to do with this guy destroying Krypton, you know, we're going to come after you. And he's like, oh, really? Well, if I am in cahoots with him, then he would be coming to kill you. So you better, you know, not do anything to me. Let's just leave it be because I wasn't involved. And so, yeah. And then it just gets to now, and you have Clark doing this thing, finds a giant robot and stuff. And, you know, it's the Toy Man. He's talking about how brilliant he is. He talks to Green Lantern, shows up. He's kind of blows him off and stuff. There's all kinds of weird, crazy stuff. The art changes, kind of goes like old timey and stuff. I don't know. It's kind of weird. And then it revert, like it's still I don't know, that the art change really, I didn't like it. I really don't. Yeah. It was really good at first, and then it changed, and I think that's when it changed to like Doc Shaner or whatever, or whoever the last art is, didn't care for it. So it's one of those, and I get it. Like, this is a week. I think this is lasting 5 weeks. It's a 5-week mini series type thing. And then I think he's taking over Superman or Action Comics, one of those, or both. I don't know. So anyways, yeah, it was, and then that guy shows up at the end. It was, yeah, you know, it was okay. So I can give this one a buy. Like I said, the art looks really great, and then other art looks, and then same thing with story, where I'm just like, but I think a big part of the story had to do with the art, because the way that the story was told, it was just kind of like, oh, this is understandable, this is comprehensible, okay, I like this, and then it changed to different art, and it was like, what? Huh? So, yeah. Yeah. I'm just going to give this one a buy, but yeah. So, yeah, that's it for that one. I'm going to move on to another book, and it is going to be Ant-Man and the Wasp, #1. And this one is written by Mark Waid. We have Javier Garron is the artist, Israel Silva as colors, I do believe. So it's really funny because someone's telling this story of Janet and and Hank, like this love story, and it turns out it's actually Scott Lang, and she's like, you're talking all this good about, but you stole the suit from them. And he's like, yeah, I'm stuck in space. Could you get me back? Because it's my daughter's birthday. You know, I got her this nice plant and stuff. And she's like, okay, I figured out how to do this thing, transport you here, but you have to time it perfectly. Well, he forgets the plant on the side, so he messes up the timing, but he blames it on her. And so then she has to go save him because it's like this blast stream. She goes into it because he has to shrink. And so like subatomic, the microverse or whatever, they go into the microverse. There's like these little things. Like these rainbow spectrum things, and they're getting sucked and destroyed by this creature. And so he's like, hey, we need to help these things. And she's like, you don't understand. Like, we can't mess with this ecosystem and stuff, you know? Like, besides, like, think about it. When we're in normal form, we're breathing in oxygen, but we're the size of oxygen particles. So what, or we're smaller than oxygen particles. So what are we breathing in even? It's just insanity. So I just love how different they are. Like, he's just kind of like Freebird, and she's like very crunching all the numbers and thinking about everything and stuff. And yeah, and so he's like, I just see things in pain and this creature that's stopping them and stuff, or yeah, that's destroying them. And she's like, okay, fine, we'll stop it. And so they find a way, but then it messes her. They kind of find a way, but then it messes her up. Which is really scary and really crazy. It was phenomenal. This is a phenomenal book. This is fantastic. I love this. I love Nadia because of her own book. Was really, really great. So if you haven't read it, read. I want to say it's The Unstoppable Wasp. It's really, really great. You need to get that in trade if you have not read it. Really, really great. And so I'm not the biggest fan of Scott Lang, and I like Scott Lang from the movies and stuff. And so, anyways, it's funny. They work really well together as a team just because they're opposites. But it's weird because they make Nadia look a lot older than she was in her own book. She should look younger, and she looks a lot more adult. And I'm wondering if they're doing that because Scott Lang is older and Nadia is younger, so they're trying to make her look older so that it's not like I don't know. It's kind of like a weird thing going on because she's a kid, you know, and he's like 30, he's like 34, you know, and so, yeah. So I think they're making her, which I don't like. I like that. Hey, keep her looking her age, you know. She looks too old in this. Yeah. Anyways, but everything else I think is absolutely phenomenal, brilliant. It looks fantastic. I love the art. It's so colorful. It's so bright. It's fantastic. And just everything about this is super interesting and really great. So I can give this one a strong buy and a contender without a doubt. In fact, I'm going to hold on to this digital code because I loved it so much. Yeah. And next is I'm going to go with Nightwing, number 45. This is Benjamin Percy. He's still writing this. Chris Mooneyham, it continues to be the artist. Klaus Janson does inks for pages 1 through 15. Then Nick Filardi is colors. I don't know who the other color artist is. Carlos Emanuel is letters. So this one is really cool. I like it a lot because it actually starts with him. He wakes up next to Barbara and he's like, I don't remember this. Like, I must have done some crazy stuff last night, you know? And so and then this guy calls him and is like, hey dude, we got a training session right now. And so he's like, all right, sorry, I'm up. I'll come down to the docks. Well, they're doing construction where they were supposed to be working out, or it was actually the dumps. and like he's having like it's like glitches and stuff. It's weird. And so he's doing workouts with this guy. It's really interesting and stuff. He's like, your workouts all include you like saving somebody. He's like, yeah, it gives you that extra push, that drive. It's really cool and stuff. Well, anyways, they find a body of like, I think some gangster or something like that, or just somebody while they're training at these docks. All the while it keeps on saying neural download, and the percentage keeps on going up. And he calls Babs, and she's like, I don't know what you're talking about and stuff. And so, yeah. And then so knowing that when he gets home and Babs is there, he confronts it, and it ends up being like this crazy virus thing. Yeah. It's awesome. It's really, really cool. It's really interesting. It looks really great. I like it a lot. It's phenomenal. This is going to be great. This is great whether you get it in issues or you get it in trade. So it looks phenomenal. It's really interesting. It's very different from his usual villain, but it really works, and I like it a lot. It's really interesting, and it's really crazy, especially like the repercussions, because it's like if something has all his information, he has a lot of information, So, yeah, that one I can definitely give a strong buy and a contender to, without a doubt. Now I have Death or Glory #2. Rick Remender is the writer. Artist is Bengal. Letterer Russ Wooton. So you just see these people getting on this bus, and this girl and this guy talking about it and stuff, and he's like, hey, let me patch you up, and stuff. He's like, you helped us and stuff. And she's like, oh, he's like, let's steal a car, we need to get out of here. And she's like, I don't just steal a car, only a-holes. Then this guy starts treating his wife like crap, and he's like, says he's gonna beat her and stuff. So she's like, all right, yeah, I can do this. So yeah, and then you see all these people, and they're essentially just a meat packing plant. They're, all these Mexicans. That's what they are. Like they're using them for meat. That's and like using their body parts are like on the black market and like selling them and stuff. And so this guy calls the ex-boyfriend of this girl and is like, hey, if you don't do this thing, then yeah. And then you have this sheriff and his deputy, and he ties him up. He lets him tie him up in the jail cell and then shoves a hot pepper up his butt. And I'm like, I don't know why this is happening and what's going on. Like I do, but I don't. Why did he let him do this? It doesn't make sense. And yeah, it's just, this is a lot of weird stuff going on, and I don't care. I said last time that I didn't care about any of these people, and I said, you better make me care in this second issue, and if you don't, I'm dropping it, because it's nothing to me. If I don't care about the people, I don't care about the book, and I'm not getting the book, okay? It's that easy. It's that easy. You didn't get me to care about the characters by the second issue. I'm done. I'm finished. It looks great. It seems like it could be really interesting. I mean, you have this essentially... You have a lot of crime going on, and this lady that got wrapped up into it and is trying to kind of make it right and stuff. And yeah, so, but I don't care about the characters. I don't care. Make me care about the characters. It looks great. So what? Seems interesting. So what? Don't care about the characters. Gone. It's a pass for me at this point. It may be a skim for you because it looks good. It might even be worth it in trade because within a trade. But to me, by your second issue, you have to sell it for me. Whether it's a new story arc or if it's a new story altogether or a new series, you have to sell me by the second issue. And if you don't, I'm not sticking around. That easy. All right. So I am going to do this book. It is Hunt for Wolverine Hunt for Wolverine Weapon Lost #2. Writer Charles Soule, artist Matteo Buffagni, color artist Jim Charalempiris, letter Joe Sabino. This one I felt a little lost because all of a sudden they're, but then I got into it pretty quick. They're looking for Wolverine and they're like, hey, can you skim down, like the filter? Let's filter out, just recent stuff and certain things that we know. There's this Ranger outpost. These people are freaked out. They've been attacked. Someone else is going after them. They found this. They go to this hospital. They're like, hey, have you seen this guy? They're like, hey, we can't give out patient information. Okay, he's not a patient. Hey, there's just camera footage. You remember this guy? Yes. Okay. So one minor lead. Then they go to other people who did like tweets and other stuff that turns out those were fake and stuff. Then they get this ping about, this radio call about some guy attacking them with claws. They go to that place. Everyone's dead. And then it's a setup. Turns up it's a setup. It's really great. It's really good. It's really interesting. I like it. I feel like some of the filler I feel like there's a little filler in there. Like I said, these side quests where they're going like, oh, we're going to check on these people that did a tweet, about Wolverine. And it's like, it's a tweet. Come on. Like, I don't know. To me, I just go like, you can't really take the internet that serious, especially if it's Twitter. But yeah, so it's really great. I like how it's going. It's really interesting. It's really crazy. I'm really interested to continue reading this. So strong buy and a contender. I will give the digital code. X for X-Men, 9, S for Super, M for Marvel, X for X-Men, N for Nova, Y for Yank, 6, A for Attack, Y for Yank, Y for Yank. And I'm going to now cover Green Lanterns, number 48. It is Aaron Gillespie as the writer, Ronan Cliquette as the artist, Hi-Fi is the colorist, Dave Sharp is the letterer. And so this one automatically starts with there's another Guardian and like Jessica just woke up and there's all kinds of people knocked out around her. And they're like, hey, he's like, I'm arresting you. I called Hal Jordan. She distracts him, breaks out of his chains, takes off, jets. And she's trying to retrace her steps because she's like, I don't remember what happened. And so there's this guy that she had arrested, but she's like working with him, so that he can get clean or whatever and stuff, And so then she just continuously, like, she's like, I'm going to go hide with people that they wouldn't expect me to hide with. But it's also people that they've worked with. Well, not worked. Yeah, worked with in their past. So they do end up figuring that stuff out and looking for her. But they don't find her. And they do, like, she gives up a ring, but it's like a fake ring and stuff. And she does end up going to this guy at the end that she helped because it's like, hey, you owe me one. So help me get lost type thing. And then, another Guardian shows up. Yeah, it's really great. It's really fantastic. I would give this one a strong buy and a contender. It looks phenomenal. It's really interesting. It's really crazy. And I really like how they did this. It wasn't just like your plain basic thing. So, yeah. And then I am going to roll right into Batman number 48. Tom King as the writer. We have Jim. Is it Jim Chung or June Chung? Or no, Mikel Janin. And then as the artist, and then Chung as colors. And so there's this guy, and he's praying, and somebody has a gun to his head and shoots him, and it was a wedding. It was a wedding going on. Batman shows up, and it's really weird though because this Batman, he's silent. Well, I mean, Batman is usually silent, yeah, but he's not like please don't shoot that woman, or like saying anything at all. He's just like letting Joker do his thing, and like Joker is just being Joker and being a lunatic. But Batman isn't being that like fast and that sly either. And you think like, oh, he's beat him, he can beat him, and stuff. And Joker even shoots Batman in the head. It's pretty nuts. And you're like, whoa. But so there's certain factors that factor into this where you go like, okay, this is plausible, like why he's not, at this part and stuff. I just love the way Joker's written. He's just insane. He's just crazy. And then, you have Catwoman and she's like, oh, he told me to stay here. He told me, whatever. All right, I'm going to go in after him. Because they are partners now, partners. So, yeah, that one, really interesting. Looks phenomenal. There was minor things. Like I said, I was like, there's certain aspects about this where I go like, this Batman isn't, I don't know why Batman's not like at the top of his game in this. There's certain parts where you go, okay, now I understand why he's not like, after he gets shot in the head, why he's not in the top of his game. Oh, after this explosion, why he's not at the top of his game, because it's like, that's going to affect you. He's still just a human, even though he's like peak human excellence or whatever, So yeah, strong buy. I can give it a strong buy. And I can give it a contender for like runner-up for sure. All right. It is halfway through time, so it is time for a commercial break. I'm going to be talking about one of our sponsors, which is Twin Suns Comics and Games. And so, yeah. And they're located near, I want to say, is it Orilla or Ocotillo and Coors? Kind of near Montano as well, in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The actual address is 6301 Riverside Plaza Northwest, Suite L1, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87120. You can call them if you need anything. I would used to call them all the time to be like, hey, I need this book. That was kind of like when we were early on, like not entirely had a subscription with them. With their subscription, you fill out a booklet. And that's why I love theirs, because I go, books that are like, oh my God, I must have it. Put that on in that booklet. I'm like, I must have. And now the books. So, and then books that I'm like, yeah, it varies month by month or week by week or every 2 weeks how they are, then those ones I don't need to. But yeah, so I used to call them all the time. Hey, can you throw this in my box? Oh, hey, can I grab this? And they'd be cool with it and stuff. They're great to work with. And that's with anything. If that's with anything, you have a box with them, they'll throw in Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon cards. I don't know if they still do Pokemon cards. I don't even know. Magic, they always have Friday Night Magic. They have Warhammer. They have HeroClix. HeroClix has always been something that I would like to get into, but I don't have time. And so they have tons of tabletop. They're all about that tabletop gaming. So, yeah. But anyways, like I said, you can call them. Their number is 505-433-9490. You could go to their website also at twinsonscomics.com. Their store hours, they're usually from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. So it's like it's a long day for them. But yeah, and it's because they have the late night gaming pretty much. That place is packed at night with the tabletop gaming. It is so packed. But they have a lot of statues. They have like I said, comics, graphic novels, figurines, all kinds of stuff that's totally worth checking out. And it's really great. And that's the other thing too. Put anything that is in that booklet. That could be statues, that can be figurines, that can be clothing, that could be literally anything. You'll get that 15% off discount. Anything, whatever it is. It could be like a huge omnibus that's like $100. Boom, 15% off. So it's worth it. It's worth it for sure. And and you can just grab whatever off of whatever, and they'll work with you, and they're really cool guys to talk to because they're nerdy and they really do know their stuff. Like that's the thing, is they're usually there playing Magic themselves or playing the tabletop gaming themselves, so they know their stuff. And yeah, so make sure you check them out, follow them on Facebook, so you can get into the events and stuff that they have going on. So yeah, check them out. Like I said, they're like across the street from Flick's Brew House, pretty much. Like right across, also like in the same area as that Wex. There's a Wex there. So yeah, check them out. All right, I'm gonna get back into books with Infinity Countdown number 4, and this is Gary Dugan as the writer, pencilers Aaron Cooter and Mike Hawthorne, inkers Aaron Cooter, Terry Pallett, and Jose Marzan Jr., Jordi Belair as colorist. And so Silver Surfer has gone to the Lifebringer, and he's like, do this, destroy this planet. And he's like, it's going to change everything if I destroy this planet. And he's like, well, we have to. So, the Guardians are together and stuff, and they're like, all right, we're going to go look for your brother and stuff. They're like, well, maybe we should wait and deal with this situation first, and stuff. So it's pretty awesome. And so anyways, they get back to that. Ultron is sending all those rocket ships off. They are getting destroyed though, because Silver Surfer and the Lifebringer have helped, and they're coming to destroy. And so in doing so, it changes him back to the Destroyer, which is bad. And then Silver Surfer essentially has to be his herald again. So it's kind of like you just wrought all this destruction on now. It's like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't understand like why he couldn't become his herald. Well, I guess because then he would be the Lifebringer herald. He wouldn't be a Destroyer herald, so he couldn't destroy. He would only be able to heal. So I don't know. They got what they wanted, but they had to sort of sacrifice something for it. So it looks great. I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool. I don't know. There's just something about it that, like the Guardian stuff, I was just like not as invested as much as the rest of it. As like the Adam Warlock stuff was way more interesting at this point. And like I said, that's weird because it was the other way around for majority of the storytelling before. And like I said, I think if they would split these stories up, it would work a lot better. It would flow better, So yeah, once again, that's an issue. So I feel like I can give it a strong buy, but just for like runner-up, not for Bebow. Here's the digital code. Tell me what you think. 0, S for Super, G for Glorious, 0, E for Echo, N for Nova, R for Richter, S for Super, U for Ultron, X for X-Men, 2, G for Glorious. Next is Rise of the Black Panther, number 6. I think it's the last one. Yes, it is. Writer is Evan Narcisi, consultant Ta-Nehisi Coates, artist Javier Pina, color artist Stephen Patru with Maury Hollowell, letter VC's Joe Sabino. And so this one, it does recap a little bit what happened before. Not too much. They talk about this weapon that they created, and he's like, yeah, no, we're getting rid of that. We're not doing that. But someone else is trying to steal it. And you have Killmonger, and he's there to take on Black Panther. And he chases him down, and has to deal with him. He has to fight with him and stuff. And it's really crazy. And pretty awesome. They like shoots him in there like this javelin and stuff. And yeah, it's just so he essentially, he has to stop this bomb from landing that could really wreck everything. And then it's just that's pretty much it, and then it's just like a little tie-in into him joining the Avengers the first time and stuff and all that business. And then Evan Narcisi he writes a page and stuff, which was pretty cool and pretty interesting. I like that. So I liked it. I didn't feel like it was as powerful as the other ones. It's just wrapping things up and stuff. I don't know. I felt like it could have been better. It was Killmonger, and it's like they did it so well in the movie. Like, hey, even if you got to rip it off, But I don't know how far ahead this was made before that movie. So I don't know. But anyways, it was still enjoyable. I still liked it. It looks great. So I can still give it a strong buy, and I would say that this is probably going to be worth picking up in trade. So but it would just be a strong buy for like runner-up, not contender. Not a Bebow. Here's a digital code. V for Villanueva, S for Señorita, P for Pedro, F for Familia, 2-4, U for Uganda, 2, N for Novela, B for Barrio, 6, Z for Zorro. Next is Saban's Go-Go Power Rangers number 10 by Boom Studios. It's written by Ryan Parrott, illustrated by Dan Mora, colors by Raul Anjulo, letters by Ed Duke Shire. And so you have Bulk with the Pink Power Ranger, and they're just doing some Spec Ops stuff, and then it goes back to current time. And then Skull, he's like, oh yeah, how many points for hitting Billy this time, or whatever. But Billy is like, he catches the water balloon somehow and it doesn't break, and then he launches it right back at Bulk and hits him in the face. It was pretty great. And then you have Kimberly, and this is like the current time or whatever, and she talks to her boyfriend and she's like, hey, what's going on? You can't avoid me anymore. And he shows her like his little conspiracy theory like chart with the strings and stuff, and he's actually not far off and stuff. And then Jake is talking to Zordon, and he's like, hey, can you see my dad? I think he's dying, he has cancer or something like that. And he's like, no, I can't mess with things like that, And then this Zord shows up that's made up of old broken Zords. And so they're like, how can we beat this thing? And so they can't. It knows its tricks and stuff. So they know their tricks. So they're like, we're not going to let you morph and stuff. And then this other evil Kimberly shows up and attacks Alpha and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, all this stuff going on. I didn't like the ending though, because they're like, oh yeah, take your hands off my robot. And I felt like it would be better if she said, take your hands off my friend, because that's what he is, instead of, he's not just a robot. So I feel like that would just been better. But yeah. So but it looks great and it's really interesting. There's multiple things going on and I like that. And so I give it a strong buy, as well as a contender. Next is X-Men Gold, number 29, Till Death Do Us Part, number 4. Writer Mark Guggenheim, artist Geraldo Borges, color artist Arif Prianto, flashback artist David Marquez, flashback colorist Matthew Wilson, letter Vicis Corey Petit. So yeah, it is a flashback. It is Kitty Pryde, and the professor says, hey, something happened to Colossus, and she breaks down, and then it gets to current time, where Colossus is in this thing. This Sentinel is like using, his blood to send out, more of the legacy virus to kill all the mutants on Earth. And so they do get the blood, they do get them off. But then Storm breaks out there, and so she does her thing with her own Mjolnir, Stormcaster, I think, right? And then Puck shows up, so Alpha Flight helps. Alpha Flight shows up to help get them out of there, but then there's some damage. It falls on there. Colossus is in a really bad way. All the other power heavy hitters, heavy lifters, they are out for the count. He has to, but he's like bleeding from the nose. It is awesome. It's epic. It's freaking amazing. Kitty's like, should I just, do my thing and make it go through? And he's like, no, we don't have time and stuff. And oh gosh, it's just so intense and it's so crazy. And yeah, it's a great conclusion. I can't wait to see what happens next. I was on the edge of my seat. I almost cried. I'm getting a little emotional even right now in the nose, that nose tickle. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah. So strong buy contender without a doubt. This is another one. Holding on to the digital code. Great book. So it looks phenomenal. Like I said, super intense. The love. I care about the characters. Even though the threat of all the mutants dying was probably definitely the biggest threat, I cared more about Colossus and Kitty. You know, like, are they going to work? You know, are they going to be alive for each other? So, strong buy contender. Anyways, yeah. Next is Justice League #1. This has a digital code. It is one of my favorite writers, if not my favorite writer. Scott Schneider, Jim Chung as pencils, Mark Moras as inks, Tomei Murray as colors, Tom Napolitano as letters. And so it's the Justice League. We got the Hall of Justice. There is some like time stuff, how like something's coming and they're like, oh, this was set up. Hall of Justice looks so great. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just love the way it looks. It just gives me like that Super Friends feel, you know, watching the old Super Friends cartoon. But then it goes into Martian Manhunter and this mission, and they have different teams, and has them all connected with his mental powers, and so he likes that. He likes being connected, but he's like, I can't let my fear get into the other people. And Vandal Savage has this thing where he has these different clans of Neanderthals that he's like helped and is trying to take over, but it's been rushed and stuff. But then you also see that the villains have their own thing going on here and there. And so it's just great to see all this teamwork, as well as like these villains teaming up, because it's like, oh my God, the Legion of Doom. Like, they're introducing the Legion of Doom, you know. But there is something that is coming that Martian Manhunter fears more than anything, and it breaks his connection with everybody else and stuff. And yeah, it's really great. It's really cool. It's really interesting. And then I guess they have a teaser for Teen Titans as well. I didn't pick up on. Yeah. So it's phenomenal. I love it from the get-go. Everything just screams nostalgia, but also screams something new, something different. And so the introduction of both of those combined really gets me thirsty. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I give it a strong buy. I give it a contender without a doubt. It's a must-have, you know. So here is the digital code, though. So DC for Detective Comics 817, N for Nihilus, H for Hotel 35, B for Bane, H for Hotel, T for Tank 0. Next is Archie, number 31. It is story by Mark Waid and Ian Flynn, art by Audrey Mock, colors by Kelly Fitzpatrick, lettering by Jack Morelli. And we have Archie with the Josie and the Pussycats. They're playing at the dance, you know, and everybody's up to no good, you know. We have, what is his name? Randall and his dad and the Blossoms and stuff. You have Veronica and Betty. They went together, you know, them being supportive of each other. That's really cute. I like that. Someone chains the doors and stuff. And yeah, and then I think it's like Reggie gets up there to do his thing, but then the actual dad of Eddie, the actual dad of the Blossoms, show up and is like, hey, I'm the real dad of the Blossoms. He's holding everybody hostage. And he has the doors chained and stuff. And Archie tries to make a move, but it doesn't work. And so things look really bad and really grim for them. I didn't expect things to get this dark. Not at all. I did not expect things to get this dark. Like, I get it. He broke out of prison, you know, but I didn't expect him to hold everybody hostage and stuff. And like, this is crazy. This is really good. I like it. It's but even the kids are like, oh, let's get in on this, you know, we can get all the money, you know, because that's what he's there. He's like, put all the money in my account and I'm gonna run off with the kids. So yeah, I like it. I can give it a strong buy. I can give it a contender. Next, I read and picked up Wonder Woman Annual number 2, The Dark Gods. It's $4.99. This does have a digital code. That's why I picked it up, so I could give it away to y'all. And yeah, so the James Robinson is a writer, Mark Lamming, Fraser Irving, Jay Calafidre, and Stefan Savagovia as artists, David Barron, Fraser Irving, and Alan Pasalacqua on colors, Saida Timofonte as letters. So she, it's Love is Lost. It's on the star Sapphire planet. They explain what happened in the past, how somebody came there and is like killing all these star sapphires. So they teleport Wonder Woman there, and they're like, "Hey, you were one of us before, so help us because this is your fault. You brought these new gods about, or what are they? Dark gods about. So help us." And she's like, "Okay, fine." And it's not exactly what she expected there. And then she's like, she fights her off, but she's doing a good job. Art is amazing. I'm loving the art, flashbacks, all of it, and then she's like, but she's really not doing well. She's like, "Oh, but if I have this help of all the Star Sapphires, all the love that we can defeat her." So that's what they do. And so they fight her off, and she's like, "Oh, this isn't the end. There's more to come." And stuff, but she's like, "But you've saved us for now here," and stuff. So she's like, "All right, well, I need to get back to Earth." So yeah, to be continued in Wonder Woman 48. It's been looking interesting. I've skimmed like what's been going on in Wonder Woman, and it looks really cool and really interesting. I really want to read it. I just have not had the chance. This was the perfect chance for me to read it and check it out. And I liked this, even though it's like, it's a tie-in, but I know I could tell that like this is a great one-shot and you don't have to read anything else. So that worked out really well. So I can give this one a strong buy and contender. Art looks phenomenal. The way it went, even when it changed, it was thematic change and it made sense to me and it really worked. And because it was like a lot of flashbacks, retelling and stuff like that, it worked really well. And it's a really great read. So, and I liked it a lot. Sapphires, I always got to love that stuff. Love. So, strong buy, contender. I could give it a contender too. Here's digital code. DC for Detective Comics, B for Bane, I believe. 17, K for Kill, P for Pain, 1524, H for Hotel, 0. Next is Star Wars number 49. Kieran Gillen is a writer. Salvador La Roca is the artist. Guru EFX is colorist. Clayton Cowles, letter. And so they are in disarray. The fleets are in disarray. The Empire feels like they have the advantage. And they do. They actually do. But that can change really quick because the rebels show up. The rebellion shows up. Admiral Akbar shows to the aid, and even this guy apologizes to Leia and is like, "Hey, I'm sorry I sprung this on us, but it was better this way than the other way, because if they would have found out, then they would have killed us all before we could do anything about it." So now it's just like this all-out battle going on. It's great seeing the Falcon in action, Wedge in action. That was really cool. And they're like, "Hey, this is what you got to do. Can you help us?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's very risky, and you might have to sacrifice your life, but, it'll definitely be worth it." And so the Empire doesn't figure it out until it's too late. And it's really great. And there's this thing going on with Leia and Queen Trios. And I was so afraid of this. That she might be under somebody else's thumb. And I mean, she has been, but like, who is she going to be more loyal to? And so I'm like, oh my God, it's so good. It's so phenomenal. It's a strong buy. It's a contender. What really does it in is that ending, but the whole thing is really great. So it's a strong buy and a contender. I'll go ahead and give away the digital code though, because I've already held on to 2. F for Falcon, C for Chameleon, M for Millennium, J for Jack, B for Blast, V for Villain, 4-6, A for Attack, 0, P for Pain, 1. Next is Green Arrow, number 41. It's $3.99. This one, I thought this one had a digital code, but I don't see one at the end here, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I thought it did. My apologies. Anyways, it is Greed Scott is the writer. Matthew Clark is pencils. Sean Parsons is inks. Jason Wright is colors. Darren Bonet is colors. So the Justice League has sent Green Arrow to help with this escort of Parasite. Parasite looks disgusting. And they're like, they want to make sure that this goes well. And then, well, it gets out of hand real quick because this guy spits on him. Well, you know, his DNA is in it. It makes him powerful. He breaks loose, you know, and he's like, well, they sent me because I don't have no powers. But then there's other people that do have powers there. And so he's getting more and more powerful. So he's stopping all these villains. They're locking it down. I actually like this a lot because it's these COs essentially, and they're trying to survive, and they're trying to help this guy out, and he's pretty much their only chance at life, and he's fighting all these villains, and they're like, you can't take us all out. And he's like, I can take most of you out. I'll do it. I'll do my best. So that's what he does. Then he has to go underground. I think he's going to face off Parasite or Killer Croc. I don't know. I liked it a lot. It was really great. It's a phenomenal book. Strong buy contender. I'm really interested to see how this ends, how it goes. I don't know if it's just like a two-parter or what, but yeah, this was really great. I liked it a lot. It was really well handled. So, strong buy contender. Last book, it is Captain America 703. It is writer Mark Waid, artist Leonardo Romero with Alan Davis and Mark Farmer, color artist Jordi Belair with Irma Navilla, and then Joe Caramagna as the letterer. And so they go into a little bit how this kid might be the savior, but then it goes back to Red Skull. He's been awakened. You know, he thinks that this guy is Captain America, Steve Rogers, but he's not. And he's like, and then it keeps on going to these flashbacks showing Captain America and like how he just doesn't give up and everything like that. It's really great. I really like that stuff a lot. And then it gets back to this guy, this historian. He's talking about how, you know, he just lives for his son, and how when his wife passed away, that love just doubled and the effort doubled and stuff. Anyways, he's like, that's what I have to do. I have to make sure that my son survives at everything. So even if I help Skull, which if I help Skull, I can defeat these people that are trying to take over our country, which is the Kree essentially and stuff. And so it does cause a revolt. And so the people fight against the Kree and stuff, but then the Kree show up with their giant armada and stuff. But I don't know if this kid is going to be like the new Steve Rogers for this, or if it's gonna awaken the old Steve Rogers. I don't know. But regardless, I'm really in it now. Like, I'm totally in it. Now, the flashback stuff is still the best stuff because it's Steve Rogers. It's Captain America. But the teasing of what could possibly come, that gets me so excited that I go, like, he's coming. He's coming. And they're teasing it. And I like that a lot. So that's a strong buy, and that's a contender. But I'll go ahead and give the digital code away anyways. It looks phenomenal. It's really great. So here it is. 5, H for Hotel, V for Victor, 1, R for Richter, 2, M for Mark, 6, V for Victor, R for Richter, J for Jack, K for Kilo. And that's it. It's time for me to announce my back in bag of the week and runner-up of the week. So I have so many great books here, so many good things. Oh, man. It's just crazy. I don't know. There's so many good books that I have here. Batman has been killing it, right? But like I said, I had minor tiffs. It was great, but I had minor tiffs. I'm just gonna be basic, kind of. Not really. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go with Ant-Man and the Wasp as my runner-up. So I'll go ahead and give that away. Like I said, this team just works. They're an odd couple. but not a couple, because that would be weird, because then he would be like a pedophile, and I think that's why they're making her look older. So then it doesn't look as weird that he's hanging out with like a little girl, but his daughter is around the same age, and that's what I'd go like, that's cute, like he's like kind of mentoring, sort of. She's, they're kind of help each other, but yeah, and so it's just crazy because at the end she loses, I don't know if she loses her vision, but her eyes are red, and so but like it's like she said, let's not mess with things because we don't know the repercussions. Boom, there it is. And it didn't happen to him, so it's crazy. I love it. They're so great together. But here's the digital code: F for Familia, C for Carlos, M for Marcos, 78, Y for Yucca, 55, D, or no, 5, that's an S, not a 5. So I'm going to do that one all over again, okay? F for Familia, C for Carlos, M for Marcos, 7, 8, Y for Yucca, 5, S for Senor, D for Diego, C for Carlos, M for Marcos, U for Uganda. Yeah, phenomenal. And my back and bag of the week is going to be XMen Gold 29, part 4 of Till Death Do Us Part. Now, it looks like Peter is going to survive at the end, but just the intensity of it. I mean, we don't know for sure, and I love it how, like, she reproposes and everything. I just want to see the wedding next, This was so intense and just well written. All the characters are done really well. Like this guy's just killing it. This is what I love. I love this stuff because it is total callbacks, but also something new and fresh at the same time. So it's great. A lot of people coming together and like people pushing themselves to their limits. Kitty's pushing herself to her limits. Peter pushes himself to his limits. Like it's always when you get the blood going down the nose, that's when people are pushing themselves. And I kind of love to see that stuff, like 11 in Stranger Things, Colossus in this or other thing. And then, oh yeah, they do catch that other lady, that Nance, and as well as that Sentinel. They freeze him. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. So yeah, that's why it's my back and bag of the week. And if you want it, share this podcast, share this video, whatever. When I put it out in audio, when I have time in a couple days, hopefully, then share that. Share it in any way, shape, or form, and I will give you the digital code to this comic. I want to give these codes away. They're phenomenal books, but just help me out a little bit. It's a quick, easy share. Retweet, whatever, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr. I don't know how you can share it through Tumblr, but whatever, do it. And mention us or whatever, and the podcast somehow, a link to it. I don't know, because you can't really click links, but still, if you still mention us, not just like the handle, but like the actual thing, I'll give it to you. It's yours. You deserve it if you do that for me. That minor thing, retweet, whatever. Yeah. So, and you can find all of our stuff at TNTMTheShow. Check out, our stuff on YouTube. I'm slowly putting stuff out. We have our Talk Foodie to Me reviews, which are fun and enjoyable and legit. And we have more coming out. We have more that we're going to record. We're going to try to do those as like monthlies. And then for other stuff, we just have like I'm trying to put out weekly videos of just, our Comic Con footage and stuff. So yeah. And then these, right? So, and I do need to do a nerdy fitness vlog soon too, as well. So yeah, that's it for now. So thank you for watching. Stay nerdy, planet Earth. Wait, no, that's not that for this. Oh yeah. Keep your ojos hungry for comics.